long before fertilizer bags lined store shelves. Before prices kept climbing and soil got tired, gardeners built raised beds that quietly fed themselves for years, using almost nothing at all. No chemicals, no weekly feeding, no chasing the next miracle product, just layered soil, simple materials, and the kind of patience our grandparents understood. Those beds held moisture longer. They grew stronger plants, and they cost next to nothing to build. So why did we stop making them? And what happens if we bring this forgotten method back, starting today, with what we already have? When gardens fed themselves. There was a time when gardens didn't depend on store shelves. No shiny bags. No weekly feeding schedule. No panic when prices went up. Older gardeners remember it well. The compost pile steaming gently in the corner of the yard. Fallen branches stacked neatly after a storm. Kitchen scraps saved in a tin instead of thrown away. Back then, gardening wasn't about buying more. It was about using what you already had. Old wood went into the ground, not the trash. Leaves were raked into piles, not plastic bags. Peels, scraps, and coffee grounds returned to the soil they came from. Nothing worked alone. Wood held moisture like a sponge. Leaves fed the soil as they broke down. Scraps brought life back underground. And soil, real soil, tied it all together, slowly and quietly. This wasn't fast gardening. It wasn't flashy, but it worked year after year. Those beds stayed moist longer during dry spells. Roots grew deeper and stronger. And harvests came steadily, without constant help. Gardeners understood something we forgot. Soil isn't something you feed once a week. It's something you build over time. They respected the process. They trusted decay. They knew that good things happened slowly beneath the surface. Back then, nothing was wasted, not even old wood. And that simple mindset is what allowed gardens to feed themselves. Not because they were expensive, but because they were built with patience, observation, and care. What they practiced wasn't old-fashioned. It was sustainable before the word became popular. And today, with tighter budgets and tired soil, this quiet wisdom matters more than ever. The $2 raised bed explained. This isn't a complicated system. You don't need special tools. You don't need a truckload of supplies. In fact, you've probably already got everything you need. Start at the bottom. This is the foundation, and it's where the magic happens. Lay down rotting logs, thick sticks, and fallen branches. The kind you'd normally haul away or burn. Old wood is perfect, soft, weathered, and already breaking down. That wood acts like a sponge. It soaks up rain and watering. Then, slowly, during dry days, it releases that moisture back to plant roots. Above the wood, add the middle layer. This is where leaves, grass clippings, and old compost go. Nothing fancy, just what nature drops every season. These materials fill the gaps, break down faster than the wood, and wake up the tiny life in the soil, worms, microbes, and fungi that quietly do the heavy lifting for you. Finally, top it off with soil. Not perfect soil, not bagged soil, just enough to plant into. That's it. 3 simple layers. As the months pass, the wood beneath slowly breaks down. And as it does, it feeds the soil, year after year. Roots grow downward, not outward. Water stays where plants need it. And nutrients are released naturally, on their own schedule. No fertilizer required. No constant feeding. Minimal watering, even in hot weather. Nature does the work. You just give it the structure. This is why gardeners used this method for generations. It wasn't about shortcuts. It was about working with nature instead of fighting it. And once this bed is built, it keeps giving back, season after season, for the price of a few forgotten scraps and a little time. Why it rarely needs water or fertilizer. Most gardens are always asking for something. More water, more fertilizer, more attention. This bed is different. Beneath the surface, the wood you buried is still working, quietly. As it decomposes, it doesn't dump nutrients all at once. It releases them slowly, steadily, in the exact way plants prefer. There's no sudden surge, no burnout, just a gentle, long-term feeding that can last for years. And then there's the water. That buried wood holds moisture deep in the bed. Rain doesn't run off. Water doesn't evaporate as quickly in the sun. Instead, moisture stays where roots can reach it, below the surface. So even during hot days, when the topsoil looks dry, the roots are still cool and comfortable underneath. Because of this, plants respond differently. They stop stretching sideways, searching for quick water. They grow downward, deeper and stronger. Roots anchor better. Plants stand taller. And stress becomes rare, even in dry spells. This changes everything. Instead of shallow roots that depend on constant help, you get healthy plants that can take care of themselves. You'll notice it in the leaves, fuller, steadier growth. You'll notice it in the soil, darker, softer, alive. And you'll notice it in your routine. Less watering, less feeding, less worry. Instead of forcing plants to grow fast, this bed lets them grow right. That's the real secret. Nature never rushes, but it rarely fails. And when your garden works this way, you don't have to chase results. They come to you, slowly, reliably, season after season. The frugal truth we forgot. Somewhere along the way, gardening changed. It stopped being about what you could make and started becoming about what you needed to buy. A bag for this, a bottle for that, a new product every season, promising better results if you just spend a little more. Modern gardening quietly turned into a shopping list. And the more complicated it became, the easier it was to forget the simple methods that actually worked. The old way didn't rely on receipts. It relied on time. Time for wood to break down. Time for leaves to return to the soil. Time for nature to do what it's always done, slowly and reliably. That kind of patience doesn't sell well. There's no subscription for it. No label to read. No miracle claim on the front of a bag. So it faded into the background. Yet this raised bed method costs almost nothing. Fallen branches after a storm. Leaves from the yard. Kitchen scraps you already throw away. What once built gardens for years was replaced by things that have to be bought again and again. And here's the quiet truth many gardeners feel but rarely say out loud. When something works too well and costs too little, it usually gets forgotten. Not because it failed, but because it couldn't be sold. That doesn't mean modern tools are evil. It just means we were taught to overlook our own resourcefulness. The real loss wasn't the method. It was the mindset. Because frugality isn't about being cheap. It's about being wise. About letting effort replace expense. And trusting systems that give back more than they take. And once you remember that, gardening stops feeling like a drain and starts feeling like freedom again. Why this method disappeared? This method didn't disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared because the world around it changed. Gardening began to favor speed. Faster growth. Faster results. Faster fixes. But this bed was never fast. You can't rush wood breaking down. You can't hurry soil coming alive. And you can't package patience in a way that sells. Slow results don't make headlines. They don't photograph well in the first few weeks. And they don't satisfy a culture trained to expect instant progress. So the old method quietly stepped aside. As gardening became more commercial, solutions shifted toward things that work now, even if they stop working later. Quick feeds, quick boosts, quick promises. But those systems depend on repeat buying. This one doesn't. Once built, this bed asks very little from you. No constant input, no ongoing purchases, just trust and time. And that's a hard thing to sell. Companies can't profit from fallen branches. They can't brand decomposing wood. And they can't put a price tag on waiting. Patience doesn't come in a bag. So the knowledge faded, not because it lacked value, but because it didn't fit the new pace of life. Gardeners were taught to manage plants, instead of building systems that manage themselves. What was lost wasn't just a technique. It was a relationship with time, a willingness to invest effort now, for years of quiet return later. And when that mindset disappeared, so did a method that once fed gardens and gardeners, without asking for much in return. Why seniors understand this better than anyone. Some lessons don't come from books or videos. They come from years of watching seasons pass. Seniors understand this instinctively. They've lived long enough to know that the best things aren't rushed. That gardens aren't built in a weekend. They're built season by season, quietly, patiently. Older gardeners have seen it before. They've watched soil improve over time. They've learned when to wait and when to act. They know that consistency beats speed every time. This raised bed method fits that wisdom perfectly. It doesn't reward impatience. It rewards showing up, year after year, and letting nature do its work. You build it once. You tend it gently. And it improves as you go, just like the gardener who cares for it. Seniors also understand something else many people have forgotten. Simple systems last longer than complicated ones. No schedules to memorize. No products to chase. No pressure to keep up with trends. Just a bed that gets better with age. This way of gardening feels familiar because it is. It echoes the lessons learned from parents and grandparents. The kind passed down over fences, not sold in stores. This isn't new. It's remembered. And that remembering matters. Because when seniors garden this way, they're not just growing food. They're preserving knowledge. They're proving that experience has value, that patience still works, and that wisdom earned over time is worth honoring. This method doesn't ask you to change who you are. It meets you where you are. If anything, it invites you to do what you've always done best. Observe, adapt, and trust the process. And in a world that keeps rushing forward, that kind of steady understanding is more valuable than ever. If this way of gardening feels familiar, if it reminds you of lessons learned slowly, over years, then you're not alone. This knowledge didn't come from instruction manuals. It came from watching, from listening, from hands in the soil and patience in the heart. And it was passed down, one gardener to another. So if you remember gardening this way, hit like. Not for the algorithm, but as a quiet nod to the wisdom that came before us. If someone once taught you to never waste good wood, or showed you how to save scraps instead of throwing them away, leave a comment and tell us who they were. Those stories matter. And if you know someone who still believes that good soil makes a good life, share this with them. Because when we share these ideas, we're not just swapping tips. We're keeping something alive. Some gardening wisdom was never meant to disappear. It was meant to be remembered, reused, and handed forward, season by season. And if this video helped you remember, then it's already done its job. Let's keep growing together.